Why did ancient rulers move mountains of stone, exhaust entire generations of laborers, and reshape a desert landscape just to prepare for death? The Pyramids of Giza are often admired as wonders of engineering, but behind their perfect geometry lies a far harsher truth. Thousands of lives spent hauling stone under the burning sun, all in service of a single belief, that a pharaoh's power should never end. For more than 4,000 years, these colossal monuments have dominated the edge of the Nile, silent witnesses to ambition on a scale the world had never seen before. Were they built purely as tombs, or were they something far more dangerous, a declaration of absolute authority carved into stone? In this film, we will uncover why the pyramids were built, how ancient Egyptians achieved the impossible, and what these monuments truly reveal about humanity's desire for immortality. To understand why the pyramids were built, we must first step inside the ancient Egyptian mind, a world where death was not an end, but a transformation. For the Egyptians, life on Earth was only one stage in a much longer journey, and the afterlife was not an abstract idea. It was a destination that demanded careful preparation. At the center of this belief stood the pharaoh, not merely a king, but a living god, the earthly embodiment of divine order known as Ma'at. His survival after death was believed to be essential for the balance of the universe itself. Egyptian mythology taught that the soul was made of multiple parts, the Ka, the Ba, and the Akh, each requiring the body to remain intact in order to reunite in the afterlife. This belief gave rise to mummification, funerary rituals, and eventually monumental tombs designed to protect the pharaoh's body for eternity. Early rulers were buried in simple mastabas, flat-roofed structures of mud brick. But over time, these tombs grew larger, more complex, and more ambitious, reflecting the growing power of the state and the divine status of its rulers. The pyramid, with its massive stone form rising toward the sky, was not chosen by chance. Its shape echoed the primordial mound from which creation itself was believed to have begun, and its sloping sides symbolized rays of sunlight guiding the pharaoh's soul toward the heavens. In some religious texts, the king ascends to join the sun god Ra, traveling across the sky and ensuring the continuation of cosmic order. In this worldview, building a pyramid was not an act of vanity, it was a sacred duty. Yet modern imagination has often distorted this reality. Popular culture portrays pyramids as mysterious structures built by slaves under whips, or as monuments encoded with lost secrets beyond human understanding. The truth is both more grounded and more unsettling. The pyramids were the product of a deeply organized society, united by belief, obedience, and an unquestioned acceptance of royal authority. They were not just monuments to the dead, but symbols of a civilization that saw no boundary between religion, power, and survival itself. The Pyramids of Giza did not emerge from mystery or chance. They were the result of deliberate choices made by rulers who understood power not only as something to be exercised in life, but as something to be preserved forever. At their core, the pyramids were instruments of authority, political, religious, and psychological, designed to project the pharaoh's dominance far beyond his mortal years. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was believed to stand at the center of the universe, a mediator between gods and humans. His role was to maintain Ma'at, the cosmic balance that kept the Nile flooding, crops growing, and society stable. If the pharaoh failed, either in life or after death,
Osiris.
chaos could follow.
May your light guide
This belief
our
transformed
king.
the pharaoh's burial into a
Mark
matter
the knot
of
there.
national survival. Ensuring the pharaoh's
Pull harder on the
successful
rope.
journey into the
Keep it level.
afterlife was not optional, it was essential. But belief alone does not explain the scale of the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Khufu required
Keep the
more
line
than
moving.
2 million
We need these
stone
supplies
blocks,
at the central
some
depot
weighing
immediately.
several tons,
Scribes,
transported,
confirm the count.
shaped, and placed with astonishing
When the Nile
precision.
flooded, the farmers
Such an
became the
undertaking
builders of
demanded
Giza,
centralized
returning to their
control
fields
over
when the waters
resources,
receded
labor,
for the harvest.
food supply,
By
and
the will
time.
of Ra, bow
Only
down.
a state with immense organizational power could mobilize tens of thousands of workers season
The wall
after
will stand
season
for 1,000
without
years,
causing the
but this
collapse
stew
of
won't
society.
last the hour.
The pyramids, therefore, were
We earned
also
this rest.
proof that the pharaoh's authority was absolutely unquestioned. Far from being built by slaves, as long believed, the pyramids were constructed
Next in
by a
line, move along
workforce
quickly.
drawn largely
One
from
loaf,
the Egyptian
2
population
jugs.
itself. Farmers worked on the pyramids during the annual
Keep the
flooding
pace,
of the
move
Nile,
forward.
when fields were submerged
Pull together now,
and
lift the ropes.
agricultural labor was impossible. In return, they were fed, housed, and supported by the state. This system transformed pyramid building into a national project, binding the
Pull the
population
ropes.
to the pharaoh
Now,
through
push the
labor,
levers.
loyalty, and shared belief. Participation was not merely economic, it was
Harder.
ideological. The
Together.
pyramids also served as powerful political messages. Rising above the Giza plateau, visible for miles, they declared the pharaoh's supremacy to subjects and rivals alike.
Great Ra,
In a world without
accept
mass
this offering.
communication,
Guide us with your
architecture
light.
became propaganda
Hail to the
carved
atom.
in stone. Every block proclaimed that the ruler had mastered nature, commanded people, and aligned himself with the gods. Even in death, the pharaoh continued to rule. Religious symbolism reinforced this message. The pyramid's shape mirrored the sun's rays, linking the pharaoh directly to Ra, the sun god. This connection was not metaphorical, it was literal in the minds of the Egyptians. By ascending the pyramid, the king was believed to join the solar cycle, dying each night and being reborn each morning, just as the sun was. In this sense, the pyramid was not a tomb, but a machine for resurrection. Yet, ambition also played a crucial role. Each generation of rulers sought to surpass those who came before. Khufu's pyramid was larger and more precise than any previous structure, not simply because technology allowed it, but because ambition demanded it. To rule Egypt was to compete with eternity itself. Smaller monuments would not suffice. Only something permanent, immovable, and overwhelming could satisfy the desire to be remembered forever. This ambition carried a human cost. Although workers were not slaves, their labor was grueling. Lives were spent quarrying stone, hauling massive blocks, and enduring harsh desert conditions. Injuries were common, and many never lived to see the project completed. The pyramids stand today not only as monuments to kings, but also as silent records of countless unnamed laborers whose lives were absorbed into stone. Why, then, did society accept this cost? Because the pyramid was more than a building. It was a promise. It promised stability, divine protection, and continuity. As long as the pharaoh endured beyond death, Egypt believed it would endure as well. The pyramids embodied a
We offer
collective
thanks for the
bargain,
bounty of the Nile,
individual hardship
for the
in
harvest
exchange
is healthy,
for cosmic
and Maat
order.
prevails.
In this light, the pyramids were not irrational extravagances. They were logical outcomes of a worldview that fused religion, governance, and identity into a single structure. To dismantle the pyramid would have meant dismantling belief itself.
Lower it
The
slowly,
question
steady
then
now.
is not why the pyramids were built, but how deeply a civilization
the
must
edge.
believe in power,
This angle
order,
provides
and
the stability
immortality
we require.
to turn
The
stone
alignment is true.
into
We
destiny.
are agreed. Let the work begin.
For centuries, the greatest
Stop this
mystery
madness.
surrounding the
You
Pyramids
disturb the
of
sacred
Giza
resting
was not
place.
why they were built, but how.
The darkness!
Even as
We
their
must leave.
purpose became clearer, the methods behind their construction seemed to defy explanation. Massive stone blocks, some weighing several tons, were lifted, transported, and placed with astonishing accuracy, without iron tools, without wheeled vehicles, and without modern machinery. As generations looked upon the pyramids, the question only grew louder. How could a Bronze Age civilization accomplish what appeared to be impossible? This uncertainty created a vacuum, and into that vacuum rushed speculation. Ancient writers imagined lost technologies. Modern myths proposed enslaved armies, forgotten superscience, or even help from beyond Earth. These ideas persisted not because they were supported by evidence, but because the true answer was less dramatic and harder to accept. The reality was not miraculous, it was methodical. The stones themselves offer the first clues. Most of the limestone used to build the Great Pyramid was quarried locally, cut directly from the Giza Plateau. Heavier granite blocks used in the king's chamber came from Aswan, hundreds of kilometers away. Their presence once seemed unexplainable, but archaeological evidence now shows that the Egyptians mastered river transport, floating stone blocks along the Nile during seasonal floods, turning the river into a moving highway of stone. On land, ramps were almost certainly used, though their exact design remains debated. Straight ramps, zigzag ramps, spiral ramps,
And lift.
each theory
Together
addresses
now.
different
Move the
stages of
stone.
construction. What matters is not which single ramp existed, but that the Egyptians adapted their methods as the pyramid rose higher. Construction was not static, it evolved with the structure itself. This flexibility reveals a culture of problem solving, not blind labor. Precision remains one of the most remarkable achievements. The Great Pyramid is aligned to the cardinal directions with extraordinary accuracy, deviating by only a fraction of a degree. This was achieved without compasses,
We need
using
more leverage
observations
here.
of the
Place the
stars
fulcrum
and the
stone
sun.
closer.
The builders understood astronomy
this, Foreman.
not as
Ready to push.
abstract science, but as practical knowledge embedded in daily life and religious belief. The sky guided the stone. For a long time, the absence of written construction manuals reinforced the idea of lost knowledge. But Egypt was not a culture that recorded engineering theory. Knowledge was transmitted through practice, apprenticeship, and
The
repetition.
Eye of Horus aligns
Techniques
perfectly
were
with the
learned
apex.
by doing,
And the
passed
shadow
from
touches the
master
line
to worker,
exactly as
generation
predicted.
after generation. When pyramid building eventually ceased, much of that practical knowledge faded with it, not because it was secret, but because it was no longer needed. Recent discoveries have further reshaped our understanding. Excavations near Giza have
See how the
uncovered
grain
workers'
aligns
villages,
here.
bakeries,
Now you try it
medical
exactly the same
facilities,
way.
and administrative buildings. These were not the remains of a slave camp, but of a planned workforce supported by the state. Workers received food, care, and
the
burial,
angle steady,
evidence of a
feel the
system
grain.
that valued
Now
organization
you try.
over brutality.
Remember the
The
pressure we
pyramids were
discussed.
built not by chaos, but by logistics. In 2013, the discovery of ancient papyri at the Red Sea port of Wadi al-Jarf provided a rare written glimpse into the process. The diary of an official named Merer
The alignment
described
here is
overseeing
precise.
the transport of limestone
Confirmed. That's
by
15
boat to
centimeters,
Giza,
right on the mark.
documenting daily operations in precise detail. This was not myth or legend, it was a bureaucratic record. The pyramids, it revealed, were constructed through schedules, supply chains, and management. What once seemed like lost knowledge now appears simply
Keep the line
unfamiliar.
moving. Faster.
Modern society expects innovation through technology. Ancient Egypt relied on coordination, time, and human effort guided by belief. The pyramids were not built quickly. They were built patiently,
Secure the cargo
season
hold on
by
the second
season,
barge.
stone
We
by
must
stone.
reach the southern quarry
The
before
mystery,
sundown.
then, is not how the pyramids were built, but why we ever assumed they could not have been. Their construction challenges modern assumptions about progress. It reminds
line
us
moving.
that complexity
Baskets
does
to the
not
left,
always
water
require
to the right.
machines,
Maintain
and
the
that human
pace.
ambition, when organized and sustained, can achieve results that echo across millennia.
Behind the stone and geometry of the Giza Plateau stand three rulers whose ambitions shaped the most enduring monuments in human history. The pyramids were not anonymous projects.
By the will
they
of
were
the gods,
deeply
it
personal
rises.
expressions of royal power, each reflecting the character, authority, and aspirations of the pharaoh who ordered it built. The largest and most imposing structure, the Great Pyramid, was constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu in the 4th dynasty. To later generations, Khufu gained a reputation as a harsh and distant ruler, a king remembered more for the scale of his monument than for compassion. Greek historian Herodotus, writing 2,000 years later, described Khufu as a tyrant who closed temples and forced the population into labor. Modern archaeology, however, paints a more complex picture. While Khufu wielded immense authority, the organization required to build the Great Pyramid suggests not chaos, but a highly efficient and stable state capable of sustaining massive projects over decades. Khufu's pyramid was unprecedented in scale. Rising originally to nearly 146 meters, it remained the tallest man-made structure on Earth for almost 4,000 years. Its precision is equally astonishing. The base is level to within a few centimeters, and its sides align almost perfectly with the cardinal directions. Such accuracy was not accidental. It reflected a ruler determined to leave
This
nothing
structure
to
has
chance,
stood for millennia.
even
What
in
secrets
death.
does it hold?
For
Secrets
Khufu,
best left undisturbed,
immortality
old friend.
was not symbolic.
I feel a darkness
it
about
was
this place.
architectural. Southwest of the Great Pyramid stands the Pyramid of Khafre, Khufu's son. Though slightly smaller, Khafre's pyramid appears taller due to its higher elevation on the plateau. This visual dominance may have been
The alignment
intentional,
here
a
matches the
subtle
lower courses.
assertion of legitimacy
Confirmed.
and continuity.
This settles the debate
Khafre
about the
is
original
also
footprint.
associated with the Great Sphinx,
Pull together
the
now.
colossal
Keep the rhythm.
limestone statue with the body of a lion and the face of a king. While scholars continue to debate its exact origin, many believe the Sphinx was carved during Khafre's reign, serving as a guardian of his mortuary complex and a symbol of royal strength fused with divine protection. Khafre's complex reveals a ruler deeply invested in ceremonial display. His causeway, valley temple, and mortuary temple were carefully designed to guide ritual processions, reinforcing the idea that kingship did not end at death. Every stone path and carved surface participated in a narrative of eternal rule. The pyramid was only one element in a larger landscape of power. The third pyramid, built by Menkaure, Khafre's successor, is notably smaller. At first glance, this reduction in scale might suggest a decline in ambition
It
or
is
resources.
acceptable.
Yet Menkaure's pyramid tells
Proceed
a different
with the
story.
next stone.
While modest in height, it incorporated extensive use of granite, a more difficult and prestigious material. This choice indicates a shift in priorities from sheer size to refinement and symbolism. Menkaure's reign may have emphasized balance over dominance without abandoning the core belief in divine
Shizes the
kingship.
sheer scale
Together,
of Khafre's
these
pyramid.
three pyramids reveal
Camera
a
lowered.
dynasty at the height of its confidence. Each ruler built not in isolation, but in dialogue with the past. The Giza Plateau became a carefully staged expression of continuity, where each monument acknowledged those that came before while asserting its own identity. This competition was not merely architectural, it was ideological. To rule Egypt was to demonstrate mastery over time itself. Yet none of these pharaohs lived to see their
Carved from the
pyramids
very
completed
bedrock of
in
Giza,
their final form.
the Sphinx bears the marks
Construction
of
often
5,000
extended
years of
beyond a
wind
ruler's
and sun.
lifetime, completed
Although
by
long
successors
associated with the
committed
Pharaoh
to
Khafre,
preserving royal
the true
legacy.
age and purpose of the
This
Sphinx are
continuity
still debated by
underscores a
scholars
crucial
today.
truth. The pyramids were not personal vanity projects alone. They were institutions, sustained by a system that placed kingship above individual life. Ironically,
The very structures meant to protect these rulers failed in their
Hail
most
to the
basic
living
function.
Horus,
Tombs
great
were
Khafre.
looted in antiquity,
May your
treasures
name endure
stolen,
forever.
and bodies disturbed. What remains is not the wealth of the pharaohs, but their ambition made permanent. The pyramids endured not because they succeeded as tombs, but because they succeeded as symbols. In the end, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure achieved a
Hail
form of
Osiris,
immortality they could never have
Lord of
fully
the
imagined.
afterlife.
Their names are spoken thousands of years after their deaths, their monuments still standing against the desert sky. The pyramids did what power always seeks to do. They outlived the moment, even as they exposed the limits of control.
For generations, theories about the pyramids flourished in the absence of evidence. Some imagined lost civilizations, others proposed slave armies driven by cruelty, and more recent speculation reached for extraterrestrial explanations. Yet, as archaeology advanced, these theories began to collapse under the weight of facts. The story that emerges from the ground at Giza is not one of mystery beyond human reach, but of disciplined planning, skilled labor, and a society capable of extraordinary coordination. The strongest evidence comes from the land itself. Excavations near the pyramids have uncovered entire workers' settlements, complete with dormitories, bakeries, breweries, storage facilities, and medical areas. Skeletal remains show signs of healed fractures and medical treatment, indicating that injured workers were cared for rather than discarded. These were not enslaved laborers worked to death, but organized crews supported by the state. Their work was demanding, but it was also structured and purposeful. Inscriptions and graffiti left inside the pyramids provide further insight. Teams of workers named themselves with titles such as Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure, suggesting pride and identity rather than oppression. These marks were never meant to be seen. They were practical labels left during construction. Their presence reinforces the idea that pyramid building was a collective effort tied to loyalty, belief, and national identity. Tools recovered from the site confirm the technological reality of the builders. Copper chisels,
Faster, the
stone
exit is
hammers,
close.
wooden sleds,
I hear something
and ropes
behind
made
us.
from plant fibers reveal a toolkit grounded in practicality. While simple by modern standards, these tools were used with remarkable efficiency. Experiments replicating ancient methods have demonstrated that teams using sleds, lubricated sand, and coordinated pulling could move massive
absolutely
stone
massive.
blocks across the desert with surprising effectiveness. Written evidence, though rare, is decisive. The papyri discovered at Wadi al-Jarf, including the diary of the official Merer, describe the transportation of limestone blocks by boat along the Nile and canals leading to Giza. These records outline schedules, crew assignments, and daily progress. There is nothing mythical in their tone. They read like administrative documents, because that is exactly what they are. Pyramid construction was a bureaucratic operation. Astronomical alignment also supports human agency rather than supernatural intervention. The precise orientation of the pyramids reflects careful observation of the stars, particularly circumpolar constellations associated with eternal life. Ancient Egyptians tracked celestial movement with simple instruments, relying on repeated observation rather than complex mathematics. Precision was achieved through patience, not advanced technology. When all evidence is considered together, one conclusion becomes unavoidable. The pyramids were built by humans, skilled, organized, motivated humans, operating within a belief
The
system
Giza
that
Plateau
justified
reveals more than
immense
just the
effort
pyramids.
in the name
These
of eternity.
excavation grids and
The
stone
mystery
foundations
dissolves not because the achievement becomes smaller, but because it becomes more impressive. What once seemed impossible now stands as proof of what societies can accomplish when belief, authority, and resources converge. The most convincing theory is also the least sensational.
And pull. Now
The pyramids were not the product of secrets lost to time. They were the result of knowledge used, refined, and eventually abandoned when priorities changed. Archaeology does not diminish the wonder of the pyramids, it grounds it. By understanding how they were built, we gain insight not only into ancient Egypt, but into the enduring human desire to leave a permanent mark on the world.
Beyond their sheer scale, the Pyramids of Giza communicate through symbolism. Every angle, alignment, and proportion carries meaning rooted in how the ancient Egyptians
The array of tools
understood
laid out
the
here,
universe.
from the delicate
To
copper
them,
chisels to the
architecture
robust
was
stone
not
hammers
separate
and
from belief. Stone, sky, and divinity were part of the same language. One of the most striking features of the pyramids is their precise alignment with the cardinal directions. The Great Pyramid is oriented to true north
It's clear
with
in
an
the marker.
accuracy
Keep
that
going.
rivals modern engineering. This was not done for convenience or aesthetics. North held special significance in Egyptian belief because it was associated with the circumpolar stars, those that never set below the horizon. These imperishable stars were seen as eternal, unchanging, and immortal. By aligning the pyramid toward them, the pharaoh's soul was symbolically linked to everlasting life. The shape of the pyramid itself carries layered meaning. Its broad base represents the earthly realm, solid and grounded, while its peak points upward toward the heavens. This upward movement reflects the pharaoh's journey from human ruler to divine being. In religious texts, the king ascends a stairway of light to join the gods, particularly Ra, the sun god. The pyramid's sloping sides echo the sun's rays descending to earth, reinforcing the idea that royal power flowed directly from the divine. Astronomy may have guided more than alignment alone. Some researchers suggest that internal shafts within the Great Pyramid were positioned to point toward specific stars or regions of the sky associated with the afterlife. While debate continues over their exact purpose, there is little doubt that the builders intentionally connected the structure to the heavens.
Guide these hands.
The pyramid was not designed to exist in isolation. It was meant to function within a cosmic landscape. Yet symbolism also served a practical role.
The sheer scale
Monumental
of the pyramids
meaning
continues to humble
reinforced
those
authority.
who work in their shadow.
When people saw the pyramids rising above the desert, perfectly ordered and immovable, they were confronted with a vision of permanence. This was power made visible. The pyramid did not need words to command obedience. Its existence was the message. It declared that the pharaoh's rule was aligned with the universe itself. Mystery enters where certainty ends. Modern fascination often pushes these symbols into extremes, searching for hidden codes or supernatural intent. But the true mystery lies not in secret messages, but in the depth of meaning a civilization could embed into stone. The pyramids were not puzzles waiting to be solved. They were statements meant to be felt.
A little more tension on the
Their
rope.
endurance
It is
part
steady.
of that
The
statement.
measurement is exact.
While dynasties fell and religions
We consecrate
changed,
this ground
the
and
pyramids
this stone.
remained. Their
May the
meaning
light of the
evolving
gods shine
with each
upon this
generation
holy work.
that encountered them. What began as sacred architecture became historical monument, then global symbol. Yet beneath every interpretation lies the same foundation, a human desire to connect life, death, and the cosmos into a single, enduring form.
Beyond their sheer scale, the Pyramids of Giza communicate through symbolism. Every angle, alignment, and proportion carries meaning rooted in how the ancient Egyptians understood the universe.
High above Giza?
To them,
Yes, teacher.
architecture
The
was
pattern
not
is clear
separate
now.
from belief. Stone, sky, and divinity were part of the same language. One of the most striking features of the pyramids is their precise alignment with the cardinal directions. The Great Pyramid is oriented to true north with an accuracy that rivals modern engineering. This was not done for convenience or aesthetics. North held special significance in Egyptian belief because it was associated with the circumpolar stars, those that never set below the horizon. These imperishable stars were seen as eternal, unchanging, and immortal. By aligning the pyramid toward them, the pharaoh's soul was symbolically linked to everlasting life. The shape of the pyramid itself carries layered meaning. Its broad base represents the earthly realm, solid and grounded, while its peak points upward toward the heavens. This upward movement reflects the pharaoh's journey from human ruler to divine being. In religious texts, the king ascends a stairway of light to join the gods,
If we analyze the wear
particularly
patterns
Ra,
here,
the
it
sun
aligns
god.
with the late
The
Pleistocene
pyramid's sloping
I'm not
sides
convinced. The
echo the
stratification's
sun's rays descending to Earth, reinforcing the idea that royal power flowed directly from the divine. Astronomy may have guided more than alignment alone. Some researchers suggest that internal shafts within the Great Pyramid were positioned to point toward specific stars or regions of the sky associated with the afterlife. While debate continues over their exact purpose, there is little doubt that the builders intentionally connected the structure to the heavens. The pyramid was not designed to exist in isolation. It was meant to function within a cosmic landscape. Yet symbolism also served a practical role. Monumental meaning reinforced authority. When people saw the pyramids rising above the desert, perfectly ordered and immovable, they were confronted with a vision of permanence. This was power made visible. The pyramid did not need words to command obedience.
It's so much
Its
bigger in
existence
person.
was the message.
I know, look at the detail on
It
the
declared
stones.
that the pharaoh's rule was aligned with the universe itself. Mystery enters where certainty ends. Modern fascination often pushes these symbols into extremes, searching for hidden codes or supernatural intent. But the true mystery lies not in secret messages, but in the depth of meaning a civilization could embed into stone. The pyramids were not puzzles waiting to be solved. They were statements meant to be felt. Their endurance is part of that
look
statement.
at the size of this
While
thing.
dynasties
Get a
fell
picture of me
and
pointing at the
religions
top.
changed, the pyramids remained, their meaning evolving with each generation that encountered them. What began as sacred architecture became historical monument, then global symbol. Yet beneath every interpretation lies the same foundation, a human desire to connect life, death, and the cosmos into a single, enduring form.
The Pyramids of Giza were built to defeat time, yet time has transformed their meaning. What began as sacred monuments to divine kingship are now ruins studied, photographed, and debated by a world far removed from the beliefs that gave them birth. And yet they still succeed in what their builders intended. They force us to stop, to look upward, and to confront the scale of human ambition. In the end, the pyramids were neither miracles nor mysteries beyond understanding. They were the logical outcome of a civilization that fused religion, power, and identity into a single vision. The pharaohs did not build the pyramids simply because they could. They built them because their world demanded it.
Heave
To
together.
rule Egypt was to guarantee order, and to guarantee order was to conquer death itself. Stone became the language through which that promise was made. But history strips away illusion. The
It
treasures
reaches
meant
the
to
heavens.
accompany the pharaohs into eternity were stolen. The bodies they
It
sought
is
to
steady now.
protect were
This is
disturbed.
how we ensure the stones
the
are
afterlife
perfectly
they
aligned.
prepared
Yes,
for
I see
remains
that it is centered.
unknowable.
But are you
What
certain it is
endures
accurate?
is not divine
And so the prophecy
certainty, but
foretold
human effort.
that one day
Millions
the
of
great
stones
Sphinx would
placed by
awaken
hands
and
that
reveal the
history
truth
never
of the
recorded.
pyramids.
The pyramids remind us that while power seeks immortality, it is ordinary people who give it form. This tension lies at the heart of their meaning.
The pyramids are triumphs of organization, imagination, and belief. They are also monuments to inequality, to systems where authority justified immense sacrifice. Admiration and discomfort coexist in their shadow. Perhaps that is why they still matter. They do not offer simple lessons. They ask difficult questions. What kind of legacy does ambition create? Is greatness measured by what is built or by what is endured? The pyramids stand as warnings as much as achievements. They show us what is possible when a society commits entirely to a single goal and what is lost along the way. As we reflect on these ancient monuments, we recognize a pattern that repeats across history. From deserts to mountains, from stone blocks to fortified walls, civilizations have always tried to make their power permanent. Each generation builds something meant to outlast it, believing that endurance equals meaning. If this journey through the pyramids has deepened your understanding of how power, belief, and ambition shape history, take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more long-form documentaries, and share your thoughts below. And consider this question as you do. When you think about the Great Wall of China, do you see it primarily as a defensive structure, a symbol of imperial power, or a lasting warning about the true cost of monumental ambition?